Hey guys, good night to all of you, one and all. And I don't know if you guys, I want to give you guys an idea of what kind of films I actually enjoy watching. And so this is going to be a very short stream, but nonetheless, it's just something I just finished watching a bunch of movies today. I didn't plan on doing that, but I ended up doing so because I was resting after working. And excuse me, one of those movies is All About Steve, which is a 2009 comedy starring Sandra Bullock. I saw it on, I don't know, HBO, Cinemax, whatever it was. And it's a fantastic film. It's a fantastic comedy. And again, this is the kind of comedy that I like. And it's more of an adventure, if anything. And it's very unique in terms of the story. If some of you have ever seen this comedy, you would understand what I'm talking about. Again, much situational humor's in there, but it's also some out of the way comedy. But it's a special film to me, and it should be a special film to a lot of people because of the lessons that are taught in this comedy. It's not an empty comedy at all, and it's very much life lessons. It's not a realism based movie. Even though it is very realistic to some degree, the characters are really out there. But the important thing is what it highlights and the lesson learned. It's kind of like Jumanji. A lot of people might enjoy Jumanji because Jumanji. Hold on a second. Let me just get to the screen share so you guys can see what it is. It's definitely a comedy. So this is the comedy I'm talking about here, and it's a fantastic comedy. Okay, it stars Bradley Cooper and Sandra Bullock. Okay, and it's just an interesting story. It's a very interesting story. And if you take time out to watch it, I never rewatched it until now. I was watching it on HBO. I just happened to be there. I was kind of sleeping in front of the television, and then I started seeing it. What makes it very interesting? It's somewhat of a romantic comedy, but it's not really. It's not really a romantic comedy at all. And the way how it ends is very interesting. I'm not going to tell you what it is about. You can go ahead and watch it. I find these kinds of stories very unique. This I remember Aquila and the Bee was another fantastic story. It wasn't a comedy; it was a journey. It was an adventure. It was sort of an adventure journey movie without the adventure and without the action and stuff. This one's much more animated. Sandra Bullock is a very expressive character in this movie. And the other characters are not as expressive. They're just normal. The only character which is really out there is Sandra Bullock's character, and for a reason. And when you get to understand the character she's playing and what she's doing, you'll understand why she's so expressive. She's so eccentric. It's a very eccentric character, and that eccentric character sort of carries other characters into a storm of eccentricity. So it's very interesting and intriguing. And the character is what I identify with this character is the unique way in which the character is actually slightly awkward, and also at the same time very nerdy, very intelligent. Can sort of it's very problem solving, even though causing problems at the same time. And of course, Sandra Bullock has played, these kind of offbeat, odd characters before, but not in this kind of way. This one's a much more nerdy character, much more still filled with adventure, very, very adventuresome, nerdy character. And it's very interesting to see and to really enjoy. I really enjoyed the movie a lot. The harmonics of the movie, especially these the extra nuances or tones to the movie, something I think I'll go and watch again. Um, but I just wanted to recommend this movie for anybody who's kind of someone who's a little bit offbeat, a little bit or nerdy, a little bit. You're somewhat adventuresome to some degree. I think you'll enjoy this movie to some degree because there's certain aspects of this movie that you'll really enjoy. You'll really enjoy. You'll come to if you're someone who is a bit different, thinks a little bit different than other people are, and therefore you have a kind of odd beat, offbeat kind of way about you. Like, like they say, you beat to a different drum than everyone else. You're gonna really enjoy this. And if you're a loving, kind of person, you'll really enjoy this movie. This is it's a very unique movie. I don't know if it was a hit at its time. I don't really know. It's the first time I'm seeing it, and I find it just so refreshing. And Bradley Cooper, it's very interesting. He is a protagonist in the movie, but it's interesting. The movie's all about Steve, but it's not really about Steve. It's really about Mary. Uh, so, but you'll understand why it's called All About Steve very quickly. And so, these different characters had different motivations behind them, and I think it makes for a funny but complex little movie. You can tell it's a low budget film, but yet at the same time, it's one of those films that actually deals with in a very interesting way. It's a comedic drama. So that's what I would call it, a comedic drama. So I think some of you will actually be entertained by this movie. This is a movie I recommend people see. It's one of Sandra Bullock's better films, I think. Also, I want to say also that Sandra Bullock has been in some other really fantastic movies. The one with the footballer that they took into the family, that was a fantastic one. Black footballer. Then it was of course, Speed is kind of where she really debuted and really did well in Speed. She really was fantastic in Speed, if you guys haven't seen that. And Speed, once again, was a film that Joss Whedon had a lot to do with, okay, in terms of rewriting and so on. So Joss Whedon can do wonderful dynamics, and Speed is a fantastic movie. I recommend anybody go and watch Speed, okay? But All About Steve's a fantastic little movie, man. It's a fantastic little film. Low budget film, you could tell, but yet some very interesting situational humor is mostly what it is. It's not really again, straight out humor. It's the situation that's kind of funny. It's not slapstick humor. There's no slapstick humor in it. I like situational humor. I don't know why. To me, it's very true to when you can emulate a real situation and see the humor in it. And sometimes you won't laugh, but you will be pleasantly smiling. You may not, it's not a belly laughing sort of, like this film is not a belly laughing sort of film, in my opinion, even though I did burst out laughing a couple times from the gut. It caught me by surprise. A number of things are just hilarious. And yet at the same time, it has this realism in it where you don't know if this character has died. Literally, you don't know if the character has died, and you're worried. So you have that deep, even though it's funny, you laugh because you're shocked. It's more of you're surprised. So you're surprised that this happened, and so you kind of laugh. But at the end of the day, it's also about, is the person okay? Did this person die? Did this person get badly injured? And so it's very interesting, heartwarming kind of movie. And it's just something, I don't know, some of you will enjoy it. Maybe some of you won't enjoy it, but I really highly recommend it if you're someone who's kind of nerdy, kind of awkward-ish. It's kind of offbeat. I like that it's offbeat. It kind of keeps you kind of on an off. It's kind of an offbeat kind of film, and I like that. And I like how it ended. It's a very interesting ending it has to it, and it's not your typical kind of romantic comedy kind of movie. In no way, shape, or form. You'll understand what I mean when you watch it. If you've watched it before, it's quite an interesting little piece of art. So I just watched that movie and I really enjoyed it. TNJ Ayala, good evening to you, my friend. Good evening to you. I'm not too sure if you're seeing the screen right now. On my end, the screen has frozen up. Yes, and still freezing up. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there with YouTube. But I was just recommending All About Steve. It's an interesting comedy. It's a comedy, okay? It is a romantic comedy, but it's not your typical romantic comedy. And so when you see it, you'll see how different it is from a typical romantic comedy. And it's pretty funny. It's again, the eccentricity of Sandra Bullock's character particularly is what makes this movie. It's not the other characters. The other characters are more or less normal human beings. They behave like normal human beings. Because of the situation that is put on them, they become somewhat eccentric. or it's sort of their emotions are exaggerated, but they're basically normal human beings. So most of the other people in the story are normal, and uh, Sandra Bullock's character is more the eccentric person in the whole story, and it really revolves around her, not around the Steve character, which is played by Thomas Hayden Church. Bradley Cooper, sorry. Bradley Cooper plays the Steve character, and he really does a fantastic job with Steve. And he gets very eccentric and he gets a little bit paranoid as the story goes along. But in the beginning and to the end, he's more normal than usual. So Thomas Hayden Church is, of course, this guy here, and he's the new news anchor, and he's quite good at what he does. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 TNJL. I'm just recommending a movie all about Steve, 2009 comedy. If you haven't seen it, you should really check it out. It's quite a thing. So I just decided to recommend that for people who may see this video. I'm just recommending. This is certain films. You know what? I want to show you guys a couple other films that I think are worth your while. That you can always check out, because I don't only look at one set of films. I watch all kinds of stuff. So what's this here? Oh yeah, I did this early on today. So we don't have to talk about that. There was another movie I saw. This movie. This movie is by Denzel Washington. It's a fantastic movie. Let me see if I can find it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Oh yes, please. I strongly suggest you guys see Fences. That's a Denzel Washington movie. That's a fantastic movie by Denzel Washington, with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. Please go watch Fences. All right. I'm looking for it just now. I just saw that this afternoon, actually. I'll tell you which one it is. If you haven't seen The Manchurian Candidate by with Denzel Washington, you really should watch that movie. It's a fantastic movie, as well as Malcolm X. The movie I'm talking about, The Bone Collector, was a fantastic movie as well as The Pelican Brief. But that's not what I'm looking for. Anton Fisher was a fantastic movie as well. If you haven't seen Anton Fisher, you should really look at that. And Siege was a good movie. This kind of reminds us of 9/11. You guys should check out that one too. But the one I'm really looking for, you really launched off with Ricochet. Ricochet was the movie where he starred in, and also the Australian guy, what's his name, who played in Gladiator. That was a good movie as well. Shit, man, I can't find the movie. The movie's with him and one of the actors who was in one of the movies I recommended today. Can't believe I can't find it here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find. Let me go back. All right, so all of these will be here. Remember the Titans was good too. Remember the Titans was a fantastic movie as well. But okay, it will be here. The one I'm looking for. Was it Out of Time? Is it Out of Time? No, I don't think so. No, it's not Out of Time. Out of Time that was one of his weakest stories. It had twists and stuff, but it was John Q. John Q. I just saw John Q today as well. John Q. You see that movie? That's a fantastic movie. John Q. I would suggest to anyone you go see John Q. Interesting story, very interesting story, and raises issues about healthcare and stuff. And so that's the movie I'm talking about, John Q. Fantastic. Oh, your wife likes that movie, All About Steve, huh? Yeah, but it's not just. I don't think it's a movie just for women. In my opinion, All About Steve. You can sit down and watch it a couple times. All About Steve is a movie, in my opinion, that I think anybody should watch that movie because it's self actualization. So that's what I like about it. Antoine Fisher is a fantastic movie, yes. But the one I'm talking about is John Q. Man on Fire, yes, that was a fantastic movie as well. But that's more, I didn't. That's more of his action stuff. I really liked. I like John Q because John Q was not an action movie. It was about this person's desire to see their child have that health care that was not afforded them because of certain things, the economic bracket, etc., etc., etc. I thought that made for that story to be an interesting one, yes. Dave Eaton, what's up, man? It's not much, man, Dave. I'm just talking about movies and some really good movies for people to go check out. Let me give you some others with Sandra Bullock, right? Sandra Bullock. I don't like all of Sandra Bullock's movies, but there are movies that she has done which are just very meaningful films. I think at the end of the day, um, The Blind Side. If you haven't seen The Blind Side, that's the movie I was talking about. It was in 2009, and it's a fantastic movie. Again, it's a drama, and I really enjoyed the movie. It's a one of a kind of movie. Miss Congeniality was not really so great. Gravity was a fantastic film. Gravity was a fantastic film. Uh, of course, Speed. That's where she really broke out. Um, The Net was a fantastic film at the time, 1995, when the internet was kind of becoming prominent. The Net came out, showing how you could be monitored and tracked and all of that, and so proven to be true. Snowden, kind of clarifies that, right? Let's see what's another good one here. I told you all about Steve. She was in Demolition Man, of course, with Sylvester Stallone. That was not really one of her better films. That wasn't. That's not really. It's not really a good one, but it is what it is. I didn't know she was in Speed 2. I never really watched that one. She was in A Time to Kill. I don't know too much about that one. Trying to remember if I saw her in Crash. I can't remember that one either. I didn't know she was in Minions. They did a follow-up, Miss Congeniality 2. Oh, she starred with Ben Affleck. I didn't know that. Forces of Nature. I didn't know that. All of these I'm not really hot up on. None of these, actually. I remember Love Potion #9. They does a remake. I didn't really like that. In Love and War, didn't like that either. All of these not so great. The Prince of Egypt. She was in The Prince of Egypt. Oh, wow. That animation. That was a fantastic animation, by the way. She was in Wrestling Hermits. Fire on the Horizon. Who Shot Pat? Oh, she was in The Fool and His Money. Okay, so she was before Speed. I didn't even know that. She's been around for a while. Okay. Oh, she goes way back. She goes way back. I didn't even know that. Wow. Yeah, okay. So I didn't know she was in Prince of Egypt. That was a fantastic movie, by the way. Animation. But the stuff that I think is good is this one here, All About Steve. In The Net, she was really fantastic in The Net. I remember that. Speed in 1994, she was really good in that. Gravity, she was fantastic in Gravity. The Blind Side, and that's about it. I have not watched Ocean's 8, and I'm not really interested in that. So yeah, Sandra Bullock stuff. Let me give you another actor who I thought gives us quality films. Leonardo DiCaprio. And you'll be like, duh. I'll be like, yeah, I know. But still, I have to say it. Leonardo DiCaprio. His stuff, it still comes up trumps, right? We know him for Titanic, right? The Wolf of Wall Street. That was good too. Inception. Uh, I saw The Beach. I didn't really like it. He was in Django as the bad guy, which was really fantastic. Didn't see Catch Me If You Can. Um, he's done some really good stuff, man. He's done some really Blood Diamonds. He was fantastic in Blood Diamonds. The Aviator, fantastic movie. Underrated movie. Uh, let me see. I haven't seen The Man in the Iron Mask. I should really watch that. That was, The Man in the Iron Mask was a fantastic book, but I've never really the Twin. Uh, I don't think I ever. It's a follow up to the Three Musketeers, right? The Quick and the Dead is a classic. You guys have to see that. Russell Crowe, Sharon Stone, Leonardo DiCaprio, fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. What else we have here? Red Riding Hood. He was in Red Riding Hood. Okay. Live by Night. Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio in Ben Affleck's Live by Night. You guys, Live by Night is playing on HBO right now. You guys should really check that out. It's a beautiful. It's raw though. It's very raw. So be careful with that. Oh, he was in Robin Hood as well. Oh, he's going to be in Robin Hood. Okay, didn't know that. Didn't know that. Delirium, another fantastic movie. Delirium. I didn't know he was in Akira. That's interesting. I didn't know he was in Akira. And he also played Frank Sinatra in Sinatra. So that Leonardo DiCaprio, man, oh gosh, good actor. Good actor. That's some of his best work. I'd never seen The Revenant. I heard it was a fantastic movie as well. This guy, man, this guy. So that's some of my stuff that I like. I like his stuff. And the other guy I like is I can't remember his name right now, but he's a fantastic actor as well. He'll come to me in a minute. Give me a minute. I'll tell you who else. Some of their movies I really liked. I saw him something. Robert Duvall, is it? Duvall. Movies. Robert Duvall. Yeah, Robert Duvall. Yeah, this guy. Robert Duvall. Man, he's been in The Godfather. Okay, he's been in To Kill a Mockingbird. He's been in. Let me see what else we have here. He's been in Robert Duvall. You gotta love him. He's fantastic. Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. Remember that? The car racing thing? That was great. Um, Gone in 60 Seconds, Robert Duvall. Falling Down, which I just talked to you guys about. Jack Reacher. Some of you like the first Jack Reacher at least. He was in John Q as well. Let's see. This guy, man. I love Robert Duvall. He also played Stalin. He was Stalin in Stalin. I mean, man. See what else we have here. Some of these I haven't seen. So, some of these I haven't seen. Yeah, he was the guy in The Sixth Day. He was the scientist in The Sixth Day. Sixth Day is an underrated film. Really love that film. He's been in a number of other. He's been in a number of other films. We haven't really highlighted all the films he's been in, but his filmography goes for a long, long time. Okay. So, yeah. But gotta love Robert Duvall. These are some of the actors that are really are underrated actors. People don't talk much about them, but they're fantastic actors, man. So yeah, I just wanted to share some of that stuff with you guys. TNJ Alice says Force of Nature is another one. Yeah. Practical Mark, Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor. He was in Gladiator. He can play a bad guy pretty good. He's a good actor. I don't know how he would be as a Joker. He has a little twitch how he moves, so it'd be interesting to see how Joaquin Phoenix ends up being as he plays a role in the DC movies. I don't know. Of course, you have Al Pacino, who's a fantastic actor as well. He's a known name in the business. You know, but in terms of movies, there's some movies that are just simply worth your while to watch, and I'm giving you a good selection of some of them. And some of them are underrated movies. You have to really go. Sometimes they don't really make great box office, but they're just fantastic stuff to go watch. You know, what's his name? George Clooney. George Clooney was just recently. I saw George Clooney in a fantastic movie. He was an assassin, but an assassin who was a naturalist. No, no, no. He wasn't an assassin. Sorry, he made weapons for assassins. That's the one, and that was a fantastic film as well. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou was a fantastic film. It was done in 2000. You guys should really check that out. That was a fantastic George Clooney film. Of course, Ocean's 11. He's known for Ocean's 11, right? He's also known for From Dusk Till Dawn. Fantastic movie. Fantastic movie by you know who I'm talking about. The American, I think, is the movie that I'm talking about. Okay, he was in Gravity, of course. Died in Gravity. The Perfect Storm. He was in The Perfect Storm. That was a fantastic movie as well. Who else? He's been in a number of pretty good movies. Solaris, for those of you who've seen Solaris, he was in that movie. Three Kings, that was a fantastic movie with the Gulf, the Iran War, whatever, in the Middle East. That was a good movie, and he played a pretty good role in that movie. Trying to remember, what else have I seen? I've seen him in something else that was really good. I'm trying to remember what else I seen him in that was really good. I can't remember right now. I can't remember if I saw Criminal. But maybe you guys know a couple movies that George Clooney was really good in. The Master with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Amazing range of acting. Love Solaris. Yeah, Solaris was the movie I was talking about. The Master. What's The Master? I can't remember that one. With Philip Seymour? Okay. Gotta check that out. In terms of Val Kilmer, let me tell you the movies I really like with Val Kilmer. And Val Kilmer only impressed me later on. Of course, he was good in Top Gun. Okay, if you guys haven't seen that, he was good in Tombstone. Okay, he was fantastic in Tombstone. He was fantastic in Heat. If you guys haven't seen Heat, Heat is, of course, a fantastic. He was fantastic in The Saint. Okay, if you haven't seen it, The Saint, to me, was one of his better works. He was a brute in The Saint. What else was he good at? He's been in some comedies as well. Let's see here. What else is he been good? I didn't know he was in The Prince of Egypt. I didn't know that. I think I've seen Fell on Night. I'm not too sure if I saw it or not. I've never seen The Missing. I don't think I've seen him in any of these other movies here. I haven't seen him in any of these movies. I haven't seen him in any of these movies. Yeah, I haven't seen him in any of these movies. And for me, Troy was a fantastic movie with what's his name? Forgot his name. You guys know what I'm talking about. Uh, Same guy with Fight Club, right? Um, really enjoyed that movie, Troy, and Fight Club, and a lot of those other movies. I forgot what his name is. If you know the actor I'm talking about. T&J Ellis says, love Solaris. Lenny Binal says, All About Steve is a really bad movie. Val Kilmer in Ghost in the Darkness. I haven't seen Ghost in the Darkness. I saw him in The Saint, where he's supposed to save, I think, the president's daughter or something like that. That mother, man, he was a badass in that movie. Really fantastic. Lenny Binal says, All About Steve is a really bad movie. For you, not for me. Really wonderful movie. Really wonderful movie, in my opinion. How not just heartwarming, but has a different ending. It's supposed to be a sort of a romantic comedy where someone's stalking another person, but it ends up being something much more than that. And so I really enjoy it. Again, you guys don't know what good movies are. Brad Pitt, that's the guy. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. Yeah, I saw Fury. That was good too. But Brad Pitt for Troy. Troy, that was a fantastic movie for me. Seven was a badass movie as well. That thriller, Seven. Fight Club was fantastic. I haven't seen Inglourious Basterds, so I don't know about that one. Um, World War Z with the zombies thing going on and the infection all around the place. The Glorious Case of Benjamin Button was a fantastic movie as well. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is weird. It's a weird movie. It's not. I wouldn't call it fantastic, but it's awkward. It gets your attention, I guess. It's a weird movie. I wouldn't call it great. Thelma and Louise. You knew he was in that. Uh, what else have I seen him in? 12 Years a Slave. He was the slave owner. Behaved like a very mean person, which was very interesting. Let's see. Babel. That's a fantastic movie in my opinion. Let's see what else. I did not see The Big Short, so I don't know about that one. I didn't see By the Sea. Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. He was in that. Um, Ocean's 13. I haven't seen The Devil's Own. Did I see Sleepers? I don't know. I saw Flatliners. I can't remember Sleepers. The Spy Game with Robert Redford. That was interesting. I didn't know he did Megamind. That's interesting as well. Um, he did World War Z 2. There was a follow up. Oh, that's coming out in 2019. Okay. Uh, The Departed. I haven't seen that. Oh, he was in Sinbad. I didn't know that either. See, he was in Happy Feet. Oh, he's in Happy Feet too. Okay, I did not see Happy Feet 2. I saw Happy Feet. That's it. The Lost City of Z. Okay, I don't know about that either. I don't know any of these other ones here, but I know he was in a number of other things, some Shakespearean movies. This is not all the movies he's been in, clearly. But yeah, Brad Pitt. That's the guy I was talking about. And love Seven. Seven was a good movie. You know. What else we got here? Oh, you saw Babel. Nice. You saw Babel. That's cool. Yeah. So there are a bunch of movies out there that were fantastic stuff. And they don't necessarily see. For me, it doesn't have to be a big budget movie. It doesn't have to throw a lot of money in it. It just has to be something unique and true about real life that you're highlighting in the film. and that literally roped me in because I like movies. Don't get it wrong. I just don't watch them a lot. And I think once the movie has something unique it's saying, I think, I will always say it's a good movie. I don't want stupid movies that don't have any relevance to them, or they're a dime a dozen. They're following the Hollywood, you know, typical bullshit lines. I hate that. So uniqueness tells me you really are pursuing art and you're seeing something that's worth telling. And so, like all of these movies I just told you, none of them are similar to the other. You know what I mean? They're unique in their own way. And I grew up watching some of these movies, and so I find them very unique. Now, some of them unanimously everybody say are good movies, and some people say they are bad movies. But at the end of the day, for me, I know what's a good movie, and I can tell you what a good movie is. A movie that gets my attention and draws me into it is a good movie. Okay, that's the end of the story. All right. And some people are very shallow so that they won't see certain things in movies and won't understand the merits of them. And they'll just say it's a bad movie. Right. But I can tell you what's a good movie, because a good movie always comes with something, one, you don't expect, two, it teaches you something by the end of it, and three, it gets your attention and ropes you in. And that means the storyteller is telling you a good story. And so, the key with, for instance, All About Steve, what made All About Steve good is seeing this woman get to every challenge. She was like chasing this challenge as she's trying to complete a puzzle. And to me, that was the interesting part about it. How is she going to complete this challenge? How is she going to get this challenge done? And so that drew me into the story and got me intrigued. And trust me, when you're just browsing through cable, just clicking, 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 for you to stop clicking and actually watch at something and be drawn into it means it has something there. So that's why I said it's a good movie. And for anybody saying, oh, it was a poor movie and it was a bad movie, that's because you're probably drunk watching stuff and you don't even know, you're brainwashed into what a movie is supposed to be or whatever. But you find yourself zoned into something and it draws you in, it's a damn good movie. I don't care what you tell me about the filmmaking process. It pulls you in. The story pulls you in. It's a fucking good movie. Okay? So that's all I got to say about that. And it's not about nostalgia or any bullshit like that, because you can't get me into a movie based on nostalgia. You just can't. You have to draw me into a movie. And you're not going to just draw me into a movie just like that, right? You guys know I'm pretty picky about movies, okay? So when I tell you that movie that I saw with Sandra Bullock was a good movie, and I give you the inherent value of the movie, you can go ahead and say it's a bad movie and be dismissive. That's probably because you like cookie cutter stuff. You like stuff that is ready made a certain way for your taste. But in my opinion, I'm open to any kind of taste in movie once it has a certain value to it. That is, I would even watch a Marvel film, and that's how I knew Black Panther was a good movie. I was watching Black Panther. At first, I was very dismissive of it. I was like, "That's shit. This is shit. This is same old shit." Until bam, it hit me with something that I hadn't seen before. And not only did it hit me with something I hadn't seen before, but it hit me with meaning. And then after that, I was like, no. And all of a sudden, I was drawn into the movie. Once a movie can get you to draw into itself and make you comment on it, you can talk about you want to hate it after that. Because, most people are general assholes. They will actually be drawn into a movie, follow the story, be drawn into it, and then they'll behave like an asshole after, right? But I am talking about where you're drawn into the story carries you along. And one thing people need to understand, because I'm a creative person. I write songs, I write music, I do advertising, okay? So I'm a creative person, and it's very difficult to get somebody to actually engage with something you've created unless you start to draw them in, okay? Now, if a movie doesn't draw you in, there are two major reasons. It may not be that it's bad. It may be that you just have a disconnect to that stuff because you're not mature enough to see what it is. Or it can also simply be that it's bad, okay? It's just straight up a bad movie, so forget about it, right? So I look at two things. Sometimes the complexity of a movie, people don't get. People misunderstand what they're seeing. So because you misunderstand what you see, you're not drawn into it, okay? And there are some movies that are just too smart for some people, okay? Other people, it's because of their experiences in life, they can't connect with the movie, all right? Some guys are like a man's man. And so the movie didn't go the way how they expected. The man's supposed to get the girl and blah, 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 blah. Right. And so because of their predictions, it's a bad movie. I'm not into that shit. Okay. So for me, when I tell you something's a good movie and I see the ending of the movie and it pays off and it makes sense to me how it goes, and that movie is actually a sensible movie in itself, I'll tell you that. Right. So I can tell you for a fact, there are a number of reasons why I say All About Steve is a good movie. All right. For a fact. All right. Facts. The movie is not your cookie cutter, predictable movie. It's not predictable. All right. It's warm. It's funny. Well, it can be annoying at times, but it's warm and it's funny. And I love that the characters literally believe what they're doing. All right. Like I said, the only character that's really like eccentric is Sandra Bullock's character. She's way out there. Okay. That character's way out there. And it makes sense. By the time you reach the end of the movie, it makes sense their character is that way. Now you get it. But the rest of the film is actually grounded in a certain degree of reality, even though it's not a realistic film. It's grounded in a certain reality. People can die in this movie. People don't die in this movie, but they can. Okay. And so that's what makes it interesting. It's again kind of cookie cutter, sort of, it's not very realistic to a fault, but there is a certain degree of realism in it. And I like it. I really do. But it got my attention because I was just sleeping and I just woke up and the movie got my attention. I fell asleep watching another movie, right? Because I had just come back from work and I was tired and I just eaten and I fell asleep on a movie, okay? And I woke up and then there was this other movie. This movie was going on and I started watching it and it roped me in. Movies don't just rope you in, man. You don't just sit down and get roped into a movie like that, right? Now, for some people, this is what I would tell some people. If you've been watching movies all the time, right? I don't watch movies all the time. That's the difference. So I can savor a movie for what it is. But if you're someone who's been watching movies all the time, you're going to become insensitive to the filmmaking process and different films because it's just a whole bunch of movies you've been seeing. And one of the things with having a glut in just watching entertainment all the time is you become desensitized to what it is these filmmakers are making. So I always suggest to people, especially critics who they're always watching movies. I say, take some time out, take a break from movies, take a day, take 2 days, take 3 days. Don't watch any movies. Do your writing, do something else, and then come back so you can have a fresh look. It's kind of like if you're eating sweets all day long, no matter how nice a food may be, a sweet food, your taste buds become insensitive to what it is you're tasting. All you can taste is the sugar in there, and you become insensitive to the sugar as well, and you need more sugar, right? So you have to clear your palate. You can't be watching films all the time. You have to clear your palate so you can give each film a fresh look. It's like me. I listen to tons and tons of music sometimes every day because I used to review music. I just watch tons and tons, and then there just come a time where I just say, you know what? I need to stop listening to all three forms of music, move away so I can reset my button and then go back and listen to all these different music. I sometimes watch tons and tons of music videos, right? And then you can look at the music and you're like, okay. I sometimes watch tons and tons of advertisements. And so it is like this glut, and you have to kind of just break from it and just give yourself a reset button. Otherwise, what happens is you become insensitive to the creative process that the people are doing and what they're really trying to achieve. Now, you as a consumer, you're bombarded with advertising all the time, right? You're bombarded every time. It's just bam, 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 bam. So for you, a fresh new advertisement needs to get your attention because you already have a saturation point about you with advertising. It's the same thing with films. And so a lot of times I listen to film critics say this is a bad film or this is a good film. And I know that they haven't really gone through the film. They sat in it once, and they go through their list of criteria that's needed for a good film. And they're not really focused on the movie. One of the things you have to allow yourself as a film critic to do is you have to become a little child almost. And you're going freshly into the cinema to see a film. And you have to be able to give that film a fair chance by allowing the film, which is an entity in and of itself. It's not the director. It's not the people who made the film, the story. You have to give the story a chance to tell itself. And I try to explain this to people, that each and every film is of its own self an organism. And it literally is its own entity. When the director is dead and gone, and when the filmmakers have moved on to another film, that film will stay in the archives out there. And it's going to be telling its story still. It is its own organism, right? And you can pay attention to the actors if you want to or not. Now, when I tell you that, yes, Sandra Bullock was playing Mary in the movie, but the movie's about Mary, not Steve. You got to understand, Mary is what the story is talking about. In other words, what I'm trying to say to you is not Sandra Bullock playing Mary. I see Mary. I don't see Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock's face is familiar, but it's Mary I remember in the story. Similarly, I remember Steve. I don't even remember the guy. What's the guy's name? I forget the actor's name who played Steve. I remember Steve. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important for you to understand that a film is its own organism. And while actors serve these characters, and while directors serve the storytelling, and while scriptwriters serve the story to us, and all of those, the crew and cast that's worked together, they feverishly work together for a story that they're going to give you. You have to think of film and stories as their own separate entity. It just so happens these were the servants of the story, but the story in and of itself is what stands. And this is stuff that, again, critics keep on forgetting. So when I heard critics saying that Zack Snyder's vision of Superman and Zack Snyder botched the vision, when you have to focus on a director when you're critiquing a film, you've lost sight. You never were focused on the film. You were always focused on that director. And that's a no-no when you are looking at films. When you are looking at films, when you are looking at any form of art, you must divorce yourself from whoever created the art, and you have to focus on what the art is saying. Okay? And I realize only a few people understand this, and it's sad. Okay? Art is its own entity. It has its own language. It has its own speech. And as much as people try to commercialize art and they try to make money off of it, you have to understand art is something that is separate from its creator. You must understand art is its own organism. So this, which is advertised, this is the commercial aspect of it, the poster, this poster here does not do justice to the actual art that was performed. This is what you must understand. A poster doesn't do it. A trailer can't do it. They're just the business aspect to get you interested in the art. But it is art that is being sold. When you go into the cinema, you're going to see, or you go to a live performance in a theater, a dramatized performance. Has anybody here gone to a dramatized performance in a theater? Has anybody ever gone to theater? Okay. Theater. Sometimes they do comedy. Sometimes they do dramas, right? They hardly do action, right? They do comedies and dramas. Anybody who has done that, anybody who's acted in their life, and had to embrace the role of a character, and the whole process through getting to this character, especially in comedies, it can be a very painful process. But nonetheless, you learn much more about yourself. But in going through art, any kind of art that you have to do, this is the other side of the other end. You have to be cognizant of the fact that it's art you're creating. You're servant to that. And it's not, the focus is on you. So the focus should never be on the director. The focus should never be on the lead, as in the actor who is playing the role. It should be the role that is the focus. It should be the story that is the focus. Okay? That's the difference between a feature film and a B-rated presentation. Okay? And this is what it's all about. It's about telling a story. So I don't ever go in, if you listen to me carefully, I may talk about the Russo brothers, for instance, in Infinity War, and how I think they failed in getting certain objectives to the table. But you would notice most of my discussions and critiques of, for instance, Infinity War were specifically on the story. I want you to understand that. If you pay attention, I'm talking about the story and the characters. I do not talk about the actors. Similarly, when I was talking about Justice League, you will notice my focus is on the story. And it is not on directors. It is not on the actors. It's not on the cinematography per se, or the special effects per se. I talk about the physics of the story and so on in terms of visuals. But if you really pay attention to me, my critiques are never on things which are extraneous to the story being told to me. I always look at the story being told to me. So when you go into the cinema, you're going to basically watch a sort of live action or a animated presentation of a story. You're going in there to have a story told to you. A storyteller is going to tell a story to you. That's what you're basically going to. So when people talk about their expectations for this movie and their expectations for that, I'm like, shut the hell up. You're going to listen to a story be told to you. This is not an interactive experience. Okay? This is not a video game. All right? This is not an interactive experience where you say, this is what I want. And the story comes back and says, okay, this is what I'll give you. That's not what it is. Okay? You're going to watch a story unfold. So it's one of those things where, again, I think people are out of touch in this age where we have a lot of interactive things. They're out of touch with the understanding of what movies are. And a lot of people politicize movies. So when I hear somebody without any reason or rationalization tell me that a film is bad, right, but they give no reasons for it, it's something that annoys the crap out of me, because I am a creative person myself. And I know how much time and effort goes into creating something different, new, okay, has a twist to it, okay? And it really is an insult to a lot of intelligence of people, okay? So if you were not connected to the movie, say that. Don't tell me it's a bad movie. And please don't tell me because the critics said it was a bad movie, okay? Because they are many a time, especially the modern day critics today, many a time they are clueless about what they've seen. And just because it's a shade different to something they've seen before, they are willing to bash it, unless politically, in which case, if it's a great director that has directed it, they start to praise it immediately. All right? And I'm tired of these stupid, sold out people determining what makes a good movie and what doesn't make a good movie. Okay? So that's why you see me come down hard on somebody who says, oh, it's a bad movie. And they really didn't give no thought to it, you know. And yet you're going to turn around and say another movie is a good movie. And it is a good movie that you may be talking about. But the movie is saying pretty much the same things the other movie is saying. And not only that, it's conveying almost the same sort of expression, but in a different way, because this movie is pointing out something different. All right. So again, I don't care about what critics say about a movie. All right, I don't care what the populace opinion is on a movie. When I see it with my own two eyes and I tell you it's a good movie and I recommend it, it's because I saw it with my two eyes. Now, you don't have to see the world like how I see the world. And I break down why it is what it is. I told you it's an offbeat, it's a nerdy, eccentric sort of story with an interesting ending. Okay, it's a heartwarming movie. But it's basically it's like if you've ever watched theater, these are theater characters put to the big screen. It's a theatrical presentation. It's a theater presentation. It's a comedy drama. All right? Comedy and drama adventure. And it has various little elements of different things inside of it, which make it very interesting. Now, I have been very specific about the nuance of the film and etc. And then for some person to just blindly and stupidly say it's a bad film, not to say that I'm disrespecting the person, but you're not really saying anything to me. You have to, in other words, when you try to bad talk a film, you should be able to, in a constructive way, say why you think it's a bad film. All right? Because I'm very specific about why it is a good film and why I recommend people to see it. All right? And so that's why I say to people, in this day and age, you have people who just say things. They don't think, oh, it didn't vibe with me, so it was a bad film. Yes, but I told you reasons why it was a bad film. Now, if you can tell me reasons why you think it was a good film, you can tell me reasons why you think it's a bad film. Go right ahead. Just remember, when I come back with something and you feel stupid about it, that makes you think twice before you say anything, right? I don't want people just bad mouthing films or talking bad about films and they don't know why, except it didn't make them feel good or they weren't connected to the film, which is okay. You don't have to be connected to a film to make it a bad film, though. You understand what I'm saying? So before you quickly badmouth something, and then in this day and age, we have assholes who badmouth anything. Good stuff. People be talking good things, and a jackass will come in and say, "Oh, that was terrible, man." And then you ask them why. Why do you say it's terrible? And that's why I call them jackasses. I tell you why they say it's terrible, and they can't give you a good reason. They really can't, and that annoys me. It annoys me that you're quick to cut down something, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That really pisses me off. You notice I'm not cursing and swearing right now because the attitude is the thing I really hate. And I'm a very reasonable person, by the way. I'm a very reasonable person. I'm a nice person as well. And so don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to bash you in for saying that, but it's just a lot of times you guys don't even think about what you say. You just open your mouth and say things. All right? You just open your mouth, you say stuff for reasons I don't even know why. So think about it, because I'm a thinking person myself and I try to put a lot of thought into what I say. Okay. MLK movie. What was that? MLK? MLK. I don't think I ever saw MLK. Martin Luther King Jr. movie? I didn't see that. Selma. Selma. Yes. No, I haven't seen Selma yet. That's what nope. Did I ever see Selma? I don't think I saw Selma. Let me see what Selma is. It's been a long time, man. I used to watch a lot of movies. No, I didn't see Selma. I saw The Color Purple, but I didn't see Selma. No, I haven't seen Selma. Oh, Selma. Wait, no. Oprah Winfrey was in another movie. Hold on. Now that you said that, I don't think it was Selma, though. I'll tell you what movie I saw. Hey, I'm yet to see A Wrinkle in Time. I haven't watched that yet. This movie, The Immortal Life of Harrietta. I saw this movie. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. I did not see Star. Princess and the Frog, I didn't see that. I didn't see Charlotte's Web. I didn't see the Bee Movie. Man, I haven't seen movies, man. The Great Debaters, I never saw that. The 100-Foot Journey, I haven't seen that. There are no children here. Their eyes were watching God. I haven't seen none of these movies. That's crazy. I haven't seen any of these movies. Crow the Legend? Crow the Legend? What is that about? I don't know that one. But I saw The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. What a movie. That was a really crazy movie, man. I like that. That was an interesting movie. Very interesting movie. I saw that movie. It was a fantastic movie. Another movie that I thought it was Selma Hayek. She played in a certain movie. I still haven't seen her in that one, though. The movie I'm talking about. Selma Hayek. She played. Oh man, she was seductive in Just Before Dawn, I think it was called. Oh shit, she played Frida. I haven't seen Frida. I need to go see Frida. That should be good. That was the famous Mexican painter, man. She was in Desperado. Desperado wasn't a great movie, but I liked it at the time. Let's see. Beatrice at Dinner. I'm supposed to go watch that. I heard it was a good movie. And I heard Selma Hayek really performed very well in that. I guess this was the follow-up to Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. What else we had? Selma Hayek. She was in the Wild Wild West. That was a fun movie at the time. I can't think of any other things she was really good in. John Travolta is also a good actor. Anyway, man, guys, I've been spending a lot of time here. Oh snap! Oh man, I was just telling you guys about some of the good movies that I saw that were really fantastic. Uh, I don't know how many of you guys know about the Muppet Show. I don't know if you guys know about the Muppet Show, but and some of the television shows. There were some really good TV shows of the 90s. I'll go with TV shows of the 90s. Let me see if I get a listing. Yeah. All right. Let me show you some of the X-Files was a fantastic series. Ooh, it's still going on. The X-Files is still going on. Oh, that's crazy. Um, what else did I enjoy? I remember I used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I don't know why, but I remember watching that. Dawson's Creek. How many of you guys watched Dawson's Creek? That was interesting. Of course, I'm trying to find something that really is good. I know people watch Family Twin Peaks. Anybody remember Twin Peaks? It was a very intriguing film. I didn't know Twin Peaks went till 2017. Twin Peaks still going? Wow. Fraser was nice. Fraser was very intellectual comedy. I'm surprised, man. Will and Grace was in the 90s? I didn't even know that. Wow, it's a long time. Alf. I don't know if you guys remember Alf, but that's not what I'm surprised they don't have the rest of the 90s movies like Quantum Leap and Highlander and sci-fi stuff. I liked Weird Science and we talked about the X-Files already. Those were the kind of TV programs I also like. I liked a lot of sci-fi stuff. I didn't like Galactica for some reason. I didn't know why I didn't like it, but I just didn't like Galactica. And what was it? Stargate or something like that. Anyway, yeah. You guys got to go in your bed. Sorry about that, man. No, I don't have Netflix, T&J Ella. Hey, man, I wanted to recommend a couple of movies. Please do. Got to go to bed now. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Yes, sure. Have you ever seen Children of Men? Director Alfonso Cuarón also went on to direct Gravity with Sandra Bullock, of all people. No, I have not seen Children of Men. That sounds interesting. Well, how good is that? What kind of movie is that about? What's Children of Men? Movie? What is that? Children of Men. Interesting. Whoa. This looks interesting. This looks like something I will watch. Roger Ebert. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I might want to take in that. That looks good. What's the synopsis on it? When infertility threatens man with extinction and the last child born has perished, a disillusioned bureaucrat, Clive Owen, becomes the unlikely champion in the fight for survival of Earth's population. He must face his own demons and protect the planet's last remaining hope from danger. Interesting. It came out in 2006. Huh. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. I've seen sci-fis where they have population control. There was a movie, I can't remember what it was, with all these children. This guy hid all these kids inside of his building. He eventually was murdered, and then the children had to look out for their lives. I was watching part of that film. I didn't see the entire film. I can't remember what it was, but it's a sci-fi. But as you said that, I'm thinking of Bruce Willis for the moment, and I can't remember what the movie is right now with those kids, but of course, there's the Great Unbreakable. Let me close this down. Okay. Die Hard. He's always known for the Die Hard series. He was in Pulp Fiction as well as Irma Thurman. The Sixth Sense. He was in that. I don't know if you guys know about all of that, but it is what it is. Um, I like The Fifth Element. Armageddon wasn't bad either. Some people didn't like Armageddon. I liked Armageddon. Not saying it was the greatest movie of all time, but it was okay. I liked it. Looper was a fantastic movie. Um, The Jackal was a fantastic movie. Tears of the Sun was a fantastic movie. Let's see what else. Um, the Whole Nine Yards. Did I ever see The Whole 9 Yards? I think I did. Let's see what else we had. Sin City was fantastic. Uh, the Last Boy Scout. That was good, man. You guys remember that one? The Last Boy Scout. I don't know if you guys old enough to remember that. I loved The Last Boy Scout. That was good. I saw Hudson Hawk. I saw him in the Expendables. I think I saw him in the Expendables. I can't remember if it was that or what. I can't remember if it was Expendables. Oh, he was in G.I. Joe. I didn't know that. Even though I did see G.I. Joe, I don't think I remember seeing the whole thing. Um, oh, yeah, he was in Split, of course, at the end. Oh, I'm trying to remember if I remember Nobody's Fool. There's a couple others that he was in. He's been in a ton of movies, Bruce Willis. Remember when he was married to Debbie? What's her name? I forgot what her name is. To Debbie something. I can't remember. Um, but it's Children of Men, huh? I can't remember the movie right now. This with all these kids, and there's this population control thing. 12 Monkeys. I haven't seen 12 Monkeys. I don't think I've seen 12 Monkeys. Yeah. Um, Michael Caine. Michael Caine. What did I like in Michael Caine? Michael Caine did some good stuff. Let me tell you what I liked about Michael Caine. Michael Keaton's a beast. Michael Caine. What did I like in Michael Caine? Michael Caine did some pretty good films. They talk about The Dark Knight. That was The Italian Job. Has anybody ever seen The Italian Job with Michael Caine? I love that movie. They know him for Alfie as well. That's a famous movie. But The Italian Job, that was something. He was in Interstellar. He was in Jaws? Okay, I don't remember that one. He was in Inception, The Prestige. He was good in that. Oh, he was in Children of Men as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Michael Caine. Jack Nicklaus is also a fantastic actor. Michael Caine. Michael Caine was in something else. I can't remember what it is. But it was a fantastic movie. This guy had range, man. Michael Caine back in the day had range. Oh, yeah. I'm not too sure if it was. Well, anyway, Mission Impossible is coming out very soon, so I don't know how many of you guys are gonna go watch it, but I think I'm gonna have a look at Mission Impossible. That should be something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take in that last Mission Impossible. I think it might be the last one as well. And Danny DeVito is another great actor. Danny DeVito. I haven't seen him acting in anything of late. Acted a great penguin in Batman Returns. He's been in animation. Okay. He was in Hoffa. That was a good movie. I haven't seen LA Confidential. I remember Get Shorty. That was good. Man on the Moon. Remember that? Man on the Moon. Do I remember that? Yes, Man on the Moon. I think that was uh seeing this guy grow up. And no, I don't think that was it. Was it? I can't remember. Um, let's see what else. To me, DeVito did a lot more stuff than I'm seeing here. He was in Rain Man. I think he was in Rain Man. We don't have all of Danny DeVito's, all of his stuff clearly. Yeah, he was in Mars Attacks. Remember that? It's not a great movie at all. I can tell you that right now. Gattaca. He was in Gattaca. Gattaca is a great movie. Love that movie. Um, he was in a lot of other movies, but for some reason I can't find all the movies that he was in. He was in Romancing the Stone. This is a nice adventure movie. Jewel of the Nile. Jewel of the Nile. He was in Twins. Remember Twins? Yeah. Danny DeVito. Don't know what happened to him. Not seeing him perform these days. Maybe he's going back into theater, or I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, sure. It's kind of about Superman. Okay. Do you remember the final shot in Prince of Egypt before they cut to credits? Do you see what I see? I can't remember. I can't remember what happened at the end of Prince of Egypt, to be honest with you. I have to actually go back and watch the film. It's been a while. Could you tell me what it was? Oh. Can't believe it's 2 o'clock already. 12 o'clock already in the night. I have to go to sleep. Yeah, so this is just a bunch of films I was thinking about, and there's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about it some other time. Uh, yeah, yeah. I really wasn't supposed to go this long. So yeah, you guys have a good night, man. But tell me a little bit about TNJL. Just tell me a little bit about what you were talking about. Like, what? Maybe okay. You know what? What I'll do instead is I'll go and actually look at the end of Prince of Egypt, and I'll see what you're talking about. Just before the credits, you say, I'll check it out. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good night. I kept you guys up very late for some of you, and some of you know. But I just wanted to share, a film I just watched, and I thought, this is something I should share with other people because it's actually it has a little something in it, that I actually enjoy. And I think that, it's a nice little low budget kind of comedy, and it has a different twist to it to some degree, and it can be pleasant for different people. And like I said, if you're an awkward kind of nerdyish kind of person, and you beat to a different drum, you pretty much enjoy that film for what it is. All right, guys, have a good night, and again, shout out to you, T&J Allah, Dave Ethan, who are the other people here? Lenny Binal or Benale. Oh, that's only 3 of you guys. Okay. I hope you guys have a good night, and God bless.